when we were younger, that's what we would get, a bottle of booze and just get fucked up on it. And then it gets to a certain age where it's like, okay, we're still going to drink, but now we know how to drink. And we can appreciate, like when you're 21, you can't appreciate a good shot. You can't appreciate a good liquor. And that's why you always get brunettes and shit. It's cheap. You don't know the difference. I was explaining this to my brother about he is having a big issue with Spirit Airlines. I was about to say it happens with everything in life where like you finally understand the reason why there's like why you shouldn't just get the cheaper thing because it's going to either break sooner or not be as good, or maybe you're not even going to use it because it doesn't work as well as the upper class one would.
Yeah.
100%, dude. Like literally exactly what I said to him. Literally, I was like, you're at an age that I got to maybe a little bit later, you know. I'm not going to lie, like I probably would still fly Spirit just because that's like my budget, you know, but definitely when you have the means to do so, there's a reason why they're priced that way. Like it's not just a gimmick. It's not like
it's better. And like if you'd like, you know, I feel like I noticed it first with food. Mm-hmm. Like I feel like once I started like really cooking for myself like every day, like at first you're like, okay, well I'm just gonna like get cheap stuff so I can stretch money and whatever. But then like when you're actually eating the food and then you actually do start splurging or getting like, you know, more expensive produce or whatever, and then you start eating that food and you're like, oh fuck.
Yep.
It was literally just the ingredients.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
What the fuck is going on?
It's the
difference between getting like frozen broccoli and getting it fresh.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's when you're younger. Look, it's natural. It's part of being young. When you're younger, everyone thinks they're the first generation to fuck, and the first generation to smoke weed, and the first generation to get all drunk with their friends and stuff. It's like, no, your grandfather did this. Your grandfather probably fucked a girl in the backseat of a car. Your grandfather probably did coke
Model T.
Yeah, like, your grandfather probably got blacked out and threw up in the middle of the street with his friends. Like, you're not the first person to do this. And so I went through this a lot, and it's kind of, this is a theory I've been working out, and I don't know if it holds water, so let me know. I think that early in life, a lot of smart people wind up doing dumb shit because there's a certain type of person who's going to have the path laid out for them and follow it, right? They're going to do the things that they're told to do because they're not necessarily open-minded enough to think outside that box and just do what they're told.
Yeah.
But then there's certain people that they're young enough to not know that that's the right way, but they're smart. They're young enough to not understand why people have been doing it this way for so long, but they're smart enough to be resourceful enough to think of another way. I remember.
Yeah, well, it's like when your parents are trying to give you advice.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, because you think you know better.
Yeah, you think you know better than me.
Like my mom and dad didn't have any type of relation to anything that I'm going through. You know, like your parents weren't 21. You know, I remember, dude, when I first left my house, I legitimately thought, I'll just live in a fucking storage unit. Who cares? I thought about that when I was walking past Easy Storage on the way to get food in Towson, and I looked at it and I was like, I cannot believe there was a time in my life when I legitimately thought that it wouldn't be a terrible idea to just, I was looking at the rent for apartments, and I was like, dude, I could rent a storage unit for like $90 a month, save like $500 a month, and just live there.
Get a gym membership, use a shower.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was the way I was thinking, because I was thinking like all these other ways to get around it. Like I was figuring something out. Like no one else had ever thought about living in a storage unit and going to the shower. It's like, no, people have probably considered that, and then they realize, oh, that's retarded. Why would you do that?
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to get locked in, or oh no, I'm going to get caught on security camera. Someone's job is to make sure people aren't sleeping in the storage lockers.
It's ridiculous. So you wind up doing stupid shit. I would say probably, you know, a lot of people just do stupid shit because they're stupid. But I think there are people absolutely that do stupid shit because they're not stupid. And so there's like that weird line of like, you're going to do stupid shit because you're not just going to do what they tell you, but then you're going to have to do the stupid shit to then figure out why they were telling you that shit all along.
Yeah.
And that's why you get to a certain point in life like, oh, that's why they do this. That's why I'm going to get back to the Spirit story, by the way. I promise. But that's why I was always thinking like there are like the initial awakening of when you first realize that like, oh, the Bible isn't real in 7th grade, and you're like, ooh, yeah, this is, you really think this is literal? And then the second awakening is when you get to an age where you realize, yeah, it's not literal, but it's also meaningful. Like,
Yeah.
you can look back and like, you have to be smart enough as a kid to not just, you know, eat it up and regurgitate it. Then you break out of that, you graduate out of that mindset, and then you go through that rebellious stage where you think you figured out something no one else has figured out, you know? And then you get older and you realize, you know what? I kind of see what they're getting at. Same thing with Santa Claus. When you're young, they tell you Santa Claus is real. Then you figure out he's not real. And then inevitably, when you get older, you tell your kids Santa Claus is real.
Yeah.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Because you're smart enough to figure out he's not real, and then you're smart enough to figure out when you're older, actually he kind of is. But not in the way you thought he was.
Yeah.
But back to the original point, with Spirit, my brother goes on the website and he's trying to buy a ticket to like Florida or something with his girlfriend. And I guess there was some kind of malfunction on the website. He tries to go through PayPal, and it winds up processing his card 4 times.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so it charged him 4 times for the tickets. So it's like,
so is the price of 2 Southwest tickets.
Exactly. So he calls them up initially, and they're like, okay, we're going to issue the refund. It should take about like 14 days or whatever. And then he's like, okay, cool. So then at this point, it's been like, you know, after like 20 days, which is like yesterday, he calls back. He's like, hey, I'm just trying to check what's going on. You guys said it'd be about 2 weeks, and it's been about 3 weeks now. So I'm just trying to follow up with you. And like, he's going through all the customer service shit. It's like, you know, we talked about before with that shit. It's like this one person picks up, and then you tell them your whole spiel, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna have to transfer you to this person. And then they transfer you to that person, then you got to go through your whole spiel again. There's no like communication whatsoever. You just have to, you go through like 3 people, and every single person you have to re-explain it to just long enough so they can say that they're not the person that can help you.
Yeah.
And so eventually it gets to a point where it's frustrating, because it's like, dude, here's what I'm asking you to do. Every single person I've talked to has told me that they don't have the authorization to do the thing I'm asking them to do. I need you to put me on the line with someone who does. That's all I'm asking. I need you to put me on the line with somebody who can make that decision. And I would be happier even if that person picked up the phone and said, yeah, I could give you a refund. I have the power to do it, but go fuck yourself. I would appreciate that more than getting batted around by a bunch of people whose ultimate answers can be, can't help you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he does all this stuff, and eventually they keep on saying, well, you know, it says we processed the refund, so you're going to have to call up PayPal and see what's going on. And my brother and I were talking, and I was like, dude, and he was saying, you know, he's smart. He's going, why should I have to call up PayPal? This is your fault. Like, I went on your website, did your shit, you fucked up, and now my money is lost in space somewhere, whether it's you guys or whether it's PayPal or whether it's something else. $400 of my money is just lost in space somewhere, and all you can tell me is figure it out?
Holy shit.
Yeah.
How cheap were the tickets?
I don't know, dude. I mean, I think he had like a $200 credit because he bought tickets like last year, but then they canceled it because of COVID. So he got like a $200 credit. So that was applied. I don't know how much money it was. I'm going to say $300 or $400. It was enough that like you wouldn't want it to just be lost in space somewhere. Yeah. And like he's sitting there, and it's like it's like you talk to these people, it's like, dude, how do you not feel an obligation to help me here? You know, it's like, this is clearly your company's fault. Why isn't someone on the phone being like, Mr. Selesky, I'm so sorry to hear about this. I don't really know what's going on right now, but I tell you what, we're going to, I'll have someone call up PayPal, give them your information. We'll figure it out. We'll get back to you about where your money is, and we'll give you an update. And it's like, no, they're just saying, no, you do it. It's like, no, I want you to call up PayPal. I want you to sit through 20 minutes of waiting time. I want you to talk to this person who says they can't help you, then kick you over to this person, then kick you over to that person, and then you have to go through the same shit I'm going through, and you fucking figure it out. Because
they're the only ones with the information on the refund. He doesn't have that information.
Exactly. And all they can give you is excuses and passing the buck. And I said exactly what you just said. This is why when you get older, you fucking take a Southwest flight. Because just like with that mic, this mic that broke last week, it's an expensive mic, and every piece of equipment I bought, all of it got fried, but luckily I got good shit. So I emailed the people, talk to them, send it in, fix it, send it back, good to go. If I had bought cheaper shit, I would have been fucked.
Yeah. Just have to rebuy everything.
Yeah, exactly. $100 microphone. No, now I got to buy 4 new $100 microphones. I sent this in. I shipped it into Shure. The Shure microphone company, and that's it. They're gonna send it back fixed. And that's just a lesson that you learn later in life.
Yeah.
And look, there's a difference between being broke and being cheap. If all you can afford is a Spirit Airlines ticket, which is, I guess, kind of where I'm at too, where then you gotta. But I'm aware of it.
Yeah.
I don't expect. It's like when people come into season. I remember this woman comes into seasons. I'm like 19 years old behind the bar, and she asked for a martini, like a nice martini, like Grey Goose and shit. And I shake it up for her, and I pour it into the glass. And looking back on it, it was a solid amount. But of course, she's a bitch, so she's like, "There's really not enough in here. Like, is this all I get for a martini?" And I was like, "Oh." So me being 19 years old, I was just like, I just took the bottle of Grey Goose and just
Topped her off.
Oh, shit. So here you go. And she looks at me and goes, "Did you just pour straight vodka into my martini?" And I was like, "Yeah, you wanted more." And she goes, "You know what? Just take it back."
Oh my God.
And I was like, "Okay." And I felt bad.
Lady, you're in a pizza place.
Exactly. You come into...
It wasn't even renovated yet.
Yeah. You come into Seasons Pizza, which at the time the bar was essentially a deli counter.
Yeah.
You got a 19-year-old kid who's never had a martini in his life.
Yeah.
He's probably drank, but it certainly wasn't martinis. I've probably drank straight vodka out of the bottle all the time, and it wasn't Grey Goose. It was probably some cheap Rickaloff or something like that. So when I pour high-quality vodka into your martini glass, I'm thinking, hey.
Wow.
There you go.
Living life.
Living life. Hey, you just got more Grey Goose in your cup. And she wants to look at a 19-year-old kid in a fucking pizza shop and go, no. It's like, well, you're the one who went out to dinner at Seasons Pizza. No offense to Seasons Pizza, but if you're looking for a craft cocktail, might not be the spot.
Yeah,
if you're looking for
real.
good pizza, wings, and a beer, definitely your spot. If you're looking to have like an anniversary dinner here, and it's like, you get what you pay for. And when I was a kid, I felt guilty. I was like, man, I really fucked that up. And then as I got older, I was like, wait, she was a fucking bitch. Fuck you. I could not imagine going in there and looking at some fucking kid fresh out of high school and bitching him for that. I would have drank the martini.
I mean, at the end of the day, too, it's like, it's no skin off your back. It's like, the bar gets it for cheap.
Yeah.
They made it up already.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's no big deal.
And then I get to take it in the back and have my first martini. My first martini, which was shitty.
Hell yeah.
I will say. It was not
Did
good.
you end up drinking it?
I think so, probably. Why wouldn't I?
Hell yeah.
Of course I drank it. I can't rember for sure, but I can't imagine
I got hammered, so I don't remember, but...
I walked up to her slosh. I was like, "Let me tell you something, you fucking bitch." Yeah, bitch.
Yeah, bitch.
So, yeah.
It was actually good.
It was pretty good.